Very, very long, Dale's Donuts, crime was at an all-time low in the City of Bright Lights, thanks in large part to Chief O'Malley and his muscle, Lieutenant Dale Roarbach. The man was all muscle, literally. He had a rare genetic disorder that prevented him from growing skin from the neck down. If you're wondering how he survived, skin is pretty important. His condition also gave him a freakishly powerful immune system. So he got by just fine. Anyway, the duo kept crime low by dragging suspects into a dank interrogation room. Then O'Malley would bring in Roarbach, have him take off his shirt, expose his grotesque frame, and the perps would usually sign a confession before he even flexed. If they didn't, Roarbach's hard-as-rock skeleton fists convinced them in minutes. There was a reason they called him the King of the Confession. Problems began when dozens of convicts later turned out to be innocent and admitted they had signed confessions out of fear or physical duress. There should have been bigger blowback, but the chief had friends in high places. Roarbach thought he only ever worked his talents on guilty men, but deep down he had a conscience. Eventually, he made a decision. He marched into Chief O'Malley's office and said, "Chief, I've decided to turn in my badge and retire from police work." "Retire?" O'Malley scoffed. "What else is a freak who's nothing but muscle like you gonna do?" "Well," said Roarbach, "I've always loved donuts. I'm going to open a donut shop." "A donut shop?" "You're a bruiser, not a baker. I want my hands to bring joy to people instead of pain. Instead of King of the Confession, I'll be King of the Confection." "Whatever. You'll be begging for your job back in a week." "Maybe. But I've got to try." Dale cashed out his pension, bought a quaint little donut shop, learned the trade, and opened Dale's Donuts a few weeks later. Right off the bat, it was a surprising success. Long lines every morning, steady business all day. They weren't classy customers, but he wasn't making those fancy donuts that cost half your paycheck. These were affordable donuts for the working man. His apron hid his exposed flesh well enough that nobody questioned a thing. He was so thrilled he couldn't sleep at night. Even Chief O'Malley stopped by and said, "Welp, looks like I was wrong. Keep up the good work, Lieutenant." But the honeymoon didn't last. One morning, Dale arrived to find his shop had been robbed. They didn't take the cash registers, just the baking supplies and ingredients. He wrote it off as a one-time thing, restocked, and immediately got hit again. Same pattern. Ingredients gone. Now he was sleepless for a whole different reason. Something was fishy, and he was going to get to the bottom of it. He staked out the shop the next night, caught one of the thieves, and tried his signature interrogation technique. The guy either didn't know who hired him or was too scared to talk. But when Dale checked the phone's call history, he recognized the number. Chief O'Malley. That same day, he confronted O'Malley. The chief said, "Since I'm all too familiar with your interrogation skills, I'll spare us both the trouble." "Oh. Yes, I've been behind the robberies." "What? Why?" "Because the city's gone to hell since you left. Word got out that you retired, so crime skyrocketed. The mayor says I'm packing my bags if things don't go back to normal. I figured if you experienced some robberies firsthand, you might want to come back. With a hefty raise, of course. What do you say?" Dale didn't refuse outright. He said he'd think about it. What he really spent his sleepless nights thinking about, though, was that if the chief was capable of this level of corruption over someone like him, a donut man with no skin, what else could he be capable of? I won't bore you with the details. It's another 100 pages of novel-worthy detective work, but Dale eventually uncovered a full-blown operation that reached all the way to the top. Defense attorneys were paying off the chief to bring up their clients on lesser charges or frame others entirely. A ready-made confession from an innocent man was premium rate, and the money flowed straight up to the mayor's office. Dale took the story to the press, O'Malley was arrested, and business at Dale's donut shop dried up immediately. The good news was Dale finally started sleeping again. Soon after, O'Malley strolled into the quiet donut shop and saw Dale behind the counter. Dale chuckled. "Out on bail? Of course. I gotta admit, I underestimated you. Most do. So, you want a donut? Or just here to polish my shoes?" "I came to make you an offer. Why would I take an offer from you?" "Because even with all your investigating, you never figured out what was really going on. You were never close to hitting me where it hurts." "Oh? Don't you ever wonder why business at your crappy donut shop was so good? Why they kept stealing your ingredients? Why you can't sleep at night?" Dale trembled. A realization he had refused to acknowledge finally broke through his skinless frame. Jesus, the donuts. "That's right. As soon as I found out where you were opening shop, I got to your flour supplier. 5% of all your flour has been pure Colombian snowfall. Junkies got their fix eating your donuts. The cartel's chemists extracted the product from your leftovers. And you, my friend, have been high as a kite for months. The cartel's payments made those defense attorneys look like chump change. And now you realize you've been the unwitting middleman in a multi-billion-dollar trafficking ring. There's no way a jury believes you weren't in on it. And I'll happily testify it was your idea. But if you go public and admit you fabricated everything about me and the mayor, we can all walk free. Otherwise, you're going down with us. Hard." Dale sighed. "Well, sounds like you got me, Chief. I guess we have a deal. He handed O'Malley a box of maple and chocolate long johns. "On the house," said Dale. "You'd better get used to those bars." O'Malley's expression soured. "But you said we had a deal." Dale removed his apron, revealing a wire taped to his bloody, pulsing chest. "You're wearing a wire? The King of Confessions doesn't always need his fists. The FBI heard everything. And even the dumbest jury can see." He smiled. "I had no skin in the game."